I'm Lee Romanoff, president of IncomeActivator.com, and we're talking about social scoring that I believe is being done by the social media websites that can negatively affect you. If you're using social media sites to get visitors, I suggest you drive that traffic to your website and not give any information on your social media sites where they can use what you say against you if you don't happen to fit their particular narrative. I would suggest you simply give a headline and invite your visitors to click to get the information from your website. The headline could be as benign as, "Check out this amazing new video." Here's a video that Christopher Green from AMTV reports on artificial intelligence and social scoring. He is very hard-hitting and may not be your cup of tea, but his information I think you should be at least aware of and decide for yourself what is true and not true for you. Our mission for you is to help you take back control over the internet and not be controlled by these social media giants. With that in mind, here's Christopher's video.
Social credit scoring and a social credit score system has officially been rolled out by the tech titans, which really are the police state themselves. They're directly working hand in hand with the Pentagon and Central Intelligence. Of course, many of you probably know this, others don't. Some of the largest contracts that Amazon has in the world come from the CIA. And people like Eric Schmidt, who formerly worked with Google, one of the largest tech giants in the world, now works directly with the Pentagon. He's part of the innovation board, is what they call. And they're rolling out, we see this in other countries today, great Orwellian dictatorships, fascist regimes like China, of which they basically take an image of your face and your retina at any given moment and then put you on a blacklist if they don't like you. Maybe they don't like the color of your skin, your religion, sexual orientation. Let's say you're a Christian. Blacklist! You're a Republican. Blacklist! Voted Donald Trump in 2016. Blacklist! Transgender. Blacklist! This is all happening in real life. And it's happening in China. So what does it mean when you have a social credit score that's in the gutter? This new invented score that they came up with, it's kind of like a FICO score, but it's a score for you as a citizen. What happens to you? Well, we're seeing this in the States today where you're deplatformed. They basically just shut down your voice, which is illegal and criminal at the highest levels. Again, we have a First Amendment and freedom of speech for a reason. Again, free speech exists because most people don't like what other people have to say. I mean, if everyone approved of everyone's speech, there would be nothing called or nothing like free speech in the first place. But if you're on the blacklist in places like China, and now in the United States, as they officially have already announced, they're rolling this out right now, you won't be able to do some vital things within your own society itself, like open a bank account, or get credit for a mortgage, or send your children to private school, or board a train or plane, or maybe even get a passport. In fact, you'll be flushed down the toilet of this digital hell that they've created for you. Because, after all, statists are going to state. And we've been taken over here in the United States of America through Manchurian candidates and through a silent coup that has overthrown basically all the rights, civil liberties, and the great republic itself. That's why Donald Trump, although not perfect, is really our last line in the sand. He's the red line between total dictatorship and fascism if these companies get their way and maybe a little bit of a semblance of freedom. We're seeing this in the United States of America today, and usually what comes after this, after they flush your credit score down the toilet because maybe they don't like you because you're a Christian or a Jew, or they don't like your politics, typically what comes next is mass death. We're talking mass killing, we're talking democide, we're talking concentration camps. See, it's a death by 1,000 cuts. Right? Most Americans would probably agree, hey, if I don't like that guy's speech, then yeah, shut him down. If I don't like that guy's politics, yeah, shut him down. But what they don't realize is they're coming for you next. Look, you don't think these Manchurian candidates are going to allow you to have your freedom in the police states of the future, of these social credit scoring systems and smart grid cities of which they're promoting. It's exactly why people like Elon Musk have officially announced that in the coming months, by 2020, they'll be officially merging your brain with a microchip. Yeah, that's right, the literal, tangible mark of the beast. And it's right out there in the open. In fact, they're selling it like it's a good thing. Isn't it awesome that these companies that have too much power, like Uber and self-driving cars and social media giants, are now going to be able to dictate your every reality? And if they don't like you, they'll just, again, flush you straight down the toilet of George Orwell's 1984 worst nightmare, which really wasn't a fiction. It was just truly a non-fiction piece. This is the cold, hard reality of your reality today. And the question I asked yesterday is, will you take the mark? Are you going to sit down? Are you going to allow this to happen? You know, the cynic in me says, yeah, probably most Americans will. I mean, not a lot of people spoke up when they rounded up the Jews. That's why so many of them were exterminated. And we've seen this throughout history, whether or not it's Stalin or Mao or Hitler himself. Right? It's a death by 1,000 cuts. So again, this is amazing for the status. This is amazing for the kings and queens of our modern reality and culture, because now they have total dictatorial control. I've talked about this for years. You know, freedom of speech is an illusion. You don't have freedom of speech. Look at what's happened in the last 10 years, just a decade of time in social media. You get all these people building massive audiences, and then what do when these people, these long shots, get too big, too powerful, too loud? They just shut you down. They deplatform you. They call you a racist or fascist or a Nazi, and then they use that as pretext and the reason why they can basically just squash all of your freedom. And it's exactly what they're doing in the United States of America. So this is what's being rolled out by these tech giants right now, a social credit score. And it's so effective because, look, you don't want to be on the blacklist. If you're on the blacklist, you're going to be outcasted. You won't have access to all these things that you enjoy. I mean, if the state, for example, thinks you play too many video games, credit score is going to go down. If they think you're lazy, you're not working hard enough, credit score is going to go down. Maybe you don't sweep your front door quite clean enough, credit score is going to go down. You don't cross the street using the proper signals, you jaywalk, or let's say you accidentally litter, credit score is going to go down. You're a Christian, you go to church every Sunday, credit score is going to go down. They don't like the color of your skin, credit score is going to go down. See, this is the perfect Orwellian hell, and it is absolutely your worst nightmare tuning in. So here's a logical question. What are we all going to do to stop it? Because if we don't raise our voices now, expect to be flushed down the toilet of oblivion's past. As they're already doing, they're altering our digital footprint. They're altering our history through zeros and ones. And don't they say that it's the victor that rewrites the history books? You see, this is about oppression. This is about tyranny on a fundamental level. I mean, this is so bold and in your face. We haven't seen this since the last time America declared 1776 and fought the Redcoats. That was needed to defend our rights. Not just our rights as Americans, but our human rights. Well, we see this right now in places like Hong Kong, where a fascist dictatorship beats the crap out of innocent protesters, bloodied, maimed, and slaughtered by an authoritarian state. But it's not just China. We're having our Tiananmen Square moment here in the good old USA. And again, what are we doing about it? Will you remain silent? Or, well, maybe you should share this video and just get the message out. Maybe you should tell your friends. Don't think that they're just going to target these fringe groups or these people that they don't like. They're coming after you next. And I'll tell you this, they don't like you tuning in. They absolutely hate you. This country has been taken over through a silent coup, a demolition, so to speak, of which now the rulers, the deep, dark state, the same people that cover up the Epstein saga and control the narrative, right? Was he murdered? This is the narrative they created. Or did he commit suicide? This is classic Edward Bernays. You should know who he is. That is, if you still read books. Control the narrative and you control the outcome. No one's even asking the question, what if the guy's still alive? Again, for example, we know 9/11 was an inside job. At the very least, it was a cover-up. We know buildings silently demolished and a perfect demolition without even being hit. But Americans gobble that stuff up. JFK was assassinated by the dark state. Nothing was done about that. So why would Americans do anything about this social credit score rollout? Honestly, they probably won't. And if they don't, expect your liberty to die. And expect yourself to die. You know, we need to ask ourselves the question, is this the country, is this the framework and foundation that we want for our children? Are we willing to risk our lives so that we do have said human rights? These aren't just American liberties. These are God-given human rights. The right to believe what you want to believe, the right to say what you want to say, and the right to provide for yourself and your family and the people that you care about without people in your face, right? Without people pushing tyranny, without people coming for your guns. All of this is connected, folks. And in the smart grid digital hells of the future, you don't think they intend to allow you to keep these kinds of things, do you? No, the goal and the intention through a death by 1,000 cuts, a little by little over time, is to take all of those said liberties away from you till you have nothing left. And that all you have is the slavery, and you are the slave, the rat in the wheel, in the system that they've sold to you. Again, freedom of speech is an illusion until it becomes unforgiving for the police state. Until it ruffles their feathers too much, they come in immediately and squash it. It's exactly what they're doing today. So all of this censorship, all of this campaigning for their authority only ends with that brutal conclusion: death. So where does that leave you, and where does that leave us tuning in? The time is now to act. The time is now to speak up. You know, if anything, I think all these politicians should be surveilled 24/7. In fact, I would encourage a camera on each one of these people's shoulders every single second and hour of the day. If they do anything that the public disagrees with or thinks they're misrepresenting, then we simply fire them. After all, they're our employees, not the other way around. But that's not how our society has been constructed. It's been constructed with the illusion that this is a republic and this is a democracy, even though it's not, it's a republic. And that you have these liberties and freedoms until, again, it becomes inconvenient for these same set elites. And guess what, folks? It's become very, very inconvenient. Social credit scores are officially being rolled out now in the United States of America. So a little advice is, I hope you're on their good side. Because if you're not, expect death, expect tyranny, and expect full-blown oppression. Again, this was the fiction, but really non-fiction dystopic hell that George Orwell penned in his classic 1984. And now, it's our current reality here in the United States of America. Get this video out everywhere, make it viral, hard-hitting it in your face. I'm Christopher Green. Click the links below, visit us on our website, and support the truth.